What did you do over the summer break? I went on a travel. A travel or a trip? Um... Hey there guys, welcome to my channel, Bling Bling English, aka Papagi Sam. Recently I had a student ask me, what's the difference between tourism, tour, trip, travel, sightseeing, journey, voyage, excursion? Well, in Korean, I think there's only one word for all of these words, and it's 여행. So I think this is where the confusion starts. Where do I start? Well, more commonly, my students are making mistakes with travel and trip. So let's start here. Travel. 99% of the time, travel is a verb. That means that you can use it just like any other verb. I like to travel. He likes to travel. My family likes to travel. Last summer, I traveled to Canada. I love to travel in the summertime. But what about trip? Well, trip is a noun. Notice I said a noun. You need an article with trip because trip is a noun. Where will you take a trip to this winter? I'm going to take a trip to Europe this winter. I love taking trips in the summertime. No article there because I said trips. Plural. And yes, usually the verbs take or go on are used with trip. I take a trip every winter to Canada. Past tense, I took a trip to Canada last winter. I go on a trip every winter to Fiji. Past tense, I went on a trip to Fiji. And please remember, we never say, have a nice travel. We always say, have a nice trip. Now, what about tour in tourism? Well, tour can be a noun and a verb, actually. A tour means a journey through something, such as a building, estate, country, etc. For example, I will give you a tour of my house. Would you like to take a tour of my property? Or as a verb, this summer I will be touring Europe. And tourism as a noun, it means the commercial organization of vacations and visits in a country. What does that mean? Think about making money. Canada is spending more money on tourism because they want to increase the amount of visitors each year. Now, what about sightseeing? Well, with sightseeing, you can think about taking pictures at a well-known spot. What I mean is, sightseeing is when you go to a place that you usually haven't been before, and you are probably going to look at some specific places or landmarks and take pictures of them. And one more thing, sightseeing is usually a word that visitors use, or it's an activity that you would do outside of the country that you are living in now. And finally for this video, one more thing, but I'm going to group them together because they're quite similar. What about journey, excursion, and voyage? Well, personally, I don't use these three words very often, but if I put them in ranking order, it may help. 1 would be excursion, 2, journey, and 3, voyage. An excursion is usually a short trip done during the night or day. For example, I'm going on an overnight excursion to meet an old friend. Next would be journey. Journey is a stronger word than the word excursion, as it is usually over a longer distance. For example, we will journey across the desert. And finally, the last word on this long list is voyage. This word is to describe a person covering a very, very long distance, most often by sea or space. For example, the long voyage to the next planet will take several years. So, what about you? Do you like traveling? Where have you traveled to? Where do you want to travel to? Do you like taking trips? Let's go on a trip. Why don't we take a trip? I took a trip last weekend. They went on a trip last summer. Have a nice trip. And before you go, you can check out this video. It's about my pet hamster, Charlie. He really needs to go on a diet. Have a good trip, everyone. See ya.